In the new season of The World Inside Out, we never planned such a large-scale expedition. Twice as many emotions. Twice as many adventures. We have a huge job to do. Turn it on. That's cool. We'll show you two countries at once. Shock in Ecuador. Oh my god, this is real. Horrible. And a fabulously rich Colombia. We're in the city of treasures. Emeralds lie beneath your feet. People jump on the rock. We will reveal even more secrets. Look, the spears are put in the trunk and they lead through a back door, some kinds of special operation. And dive into two completely different worlds. That's all the effect of the jewels, they dazzle. Ecuador will test us for strength. Height sickness begins. Dizziness, shortness of breath. It will allow us to touch deadly relics. It is a woman. It's terrible. And Colombia will show its inside. Here in Colombia, some believe in God and some in the devil, and all these people live in one country. We will meet the national star of Ecuador. It's difficult to communicate with the stars, and we will dispel myths about the most famous Colombian, Pablo Escobar. During Pablo Escobar's years, there was not only cocaine world, but also the emerald. We will challenge stereotypes. Are you really ready? I'm sure it will be unforgettable. And we will dare desperate steps. I'm scared now. Don't shoot, don't shoot! We'll try to set a world record on the volcano. No one can make any guarantees, no prognosis. Let's move on, you can think of worse weather. Ahead of us are real adventures, a real world inside out. And right now, we're in the unpredictable, wild and insane Ecuador. The alien landscape. You will not see this anywhere else. The World Inside Out with Dmitry Komarov, Ecuador. You've all heard of the legendary headhunter tribes. People who cut off the heads, dry them and keep. So it's here. It's in Ecuador. 4 a.m. Shuars, Ecuadorian Amazonia. Today we'll show you one of the most amazing and terrible rites that exists not only in Ecuador, but perhaps on the whole planet. You've probably seen dried human heads in movies, but not everyone knows that's not an artistic invention. Such heads do exist in the real world. They are called tontal. The warlike Indian Shuar tribe has been famous for its ability to make them. We now go to these headhunters. But why not in the jungle, but in the middle of the city, you ask? In fact, the Shuars tribe is modern today. It lives in such a city. It took us an incredible amount of effort to find people who keep real, not fake heads. The Shuars had a terrible tradition to cut off the head of a dead enemy and make a small talisman. It was believed that a warrior with the head gained the strength of the enemy. The Shuars often hunt down someone who had outstanding skills. The Indians would still practice this shocking tradition if they had not begun to actively trade in dried heads. Wealthy people in Europe collected entire collections in their living rooms. A real hunt began for them. They began to be bought. Over time, the heads became so expensive that the tribes really tried to kill as much as possible. It became clear that a lot of people were killed for their heads ended up in a private collection. This was banned in both Peru and Ecuador in 1930. But at least until the 50s of the last century, heads were sold. Probably it can be still found today, but when this crazy demand began, the fake heads were made of monkeys, sloths, and the other animals. That's why today more than 90% of the heads are fake. The real ones are carefully kept in a few museums or secret collections of millionaires. Today the price of one tanza reaches $100,000, but even with such money it's very difficult to find a real head. And to see it, it's important to go through some special rituals, otherwise they just won't show it. It's a great honor, and these heads were not shown to anyone for many years. In short, my friends, this story is very confusing. I can't say anything in advance. Now we will see everything for ourselves. We were asked to come to the Shuar Federation, to their president. I don't know what will happen. I'll wait until we're invited. We were told to come here at night. I don't understand what happens. Where are the heads? I don't know. No idea what happens. We're gonna figure it out together. But only here we can see the real heads. Buenos dias. May I come in? Good afternoon. What's your name, please? Juan Bosca. I'm a shaman. We're in a modern office with computers in a safe, but here are Indians in traditional clothing, which is weird only for special occasions. Very unusual. Buenos dias, senora. This is our accountant. And immediately some rituals begin right in the accounting department. What is this? Please tell us. Tobacco. It will give us strength. So the power of the heads doesn't affect us. What does it mean? Inside the head are the spirits of slain warriors, very powerful energy. The Shuars believed that by making the tanza you could lock the enemy's soul, so he can't revenge on his murderer. But they're still afraid, especially when it came to the heads of the best warriors of the tribe. Modern Shuars are no exception. They live in cities and work in offices, but they still believe that the spirits inside human heads are very strong. And if you do not inhale tobacco before taking the head, you can get ill. Is it a ritual? Yes, for protection. Very hard tobacco. Similar to repay. In Brazil, I tried dry repay from the Indians, and it also hit my nose like that. Yes, it's something like that, but in the form of a liquid. Cleans the head and nose. Terrible. Everyone should inhale. Our translator also inhales. Working with us is difficult for everyone, including translators. It's such a story. It burns. The second operator also inhales tobacco. Did it pack you up? Oh man. Friends, it's impossible to explain why it's necessary, but it happens in the office. We're getting ready. They inhaled tobacco, now we need to take spears. But we did not have time to go to the spears. May I go to the toilet or outside? Toilet in the end of the corridor. Friends, sorry, I'm very sick. Toilet. I didn't make it to the bathroom. I threw up. A good start to shooting. Yesterday, when we came here, we were told not to eat breakfast. In any case, there should be also no sex. At the night, we all laughed as we have an expedition away from families for a long time. So, you know... Guys, are you sick too? Yes, a little. My friends, it's something crazy. Meanwhile, other Shuars came to the accounting office. We felt sick after tobacco, but they got used to such rituals. You should also smoke tobacco to strengthen your defenses. All these actions are not accidental. The Shuars believe that tobacco drives away evil spirits and often use it also in healing rituals. We show the heads of the warriors because we're also warriors. The Shuar people are a large number of groups and clans, often at bloody war with each other, so the enemies of the Shuars were their fellow tribesmen. And the heads of enemies are not just mascots with powerful energy, but also the ancestors of his people. Wait, we're in your office, the computer safe. Why are we holding this ceremony right here? It used to be somewhere in the jungle. If the heads are already kept in our office of the Federation, then the ceremony should be held right here. Friends, here are the modern times and the modern tribes. People's heads are kept in a safe in the accounting office. This is something incredible. Now we will open the safe. But first, we must say grace. Deep night, office, accounting. Indians stand and pray in front of the safe. It's hard to believe. We ask these warriors for permission to take their heads. The safe opens by an accountant. Friends, this is just a unique moment. Inside the safe, the main treasure of the Shuar tribe is a box with heads tonsa, probably the last real heads in this region. It takes a while to get them out. First, they are smoked and sprinkled with tobacco. You may find this strange, there's really no other way to look at heads. Only here, only in the office, and only after such a ritual. It feels like the Shuars are very afraid of the contents of this safe. All rites are performed so carefully. And only after that, the simple cardboard box and some package are taken out of the safe. The box smells of old age and dampness. How long has it been since you last took out that box? 4 years ago. We took it out to take care of it. Usually we don't show them to anyone. In this box, the heads are collected from all over Ecuador. This is the main wealth of the Shuars. It's not shown to tourists or taken to exhibitions. It's carefully stored in the safe, trying not to touch and disturb. How many heads are here? 9 heads and 1 leg. Mr. President, as I understand, even you don't have the right to take it out of the office without such a ritual. No one has the right to get heads in their own. This decision is made only by the Council of Elders. But no one seems to be going to open the box yet. It's time to go. Then it all unfolds instantly. In the middle of the night, we take out of the Shuar Federation their most important value. If a real tonsa costs up to $100,000, this box will cost at least $1 million. Put it on the back seat of the car. They ask you to follow them very quickly in our cars. Look, the spears are in the trunk. The cars are leaving so that people don't see what happens. Because to tell you the truth, we were asking for money for this ritual. Now they go through the black entrance so that they don't see us here. Let's run to the car. The second cameraman and translator are catching up with us. Sit next to me and you in the back. Some kind of special operation. Ahead is the car of our guide who helped arrange all this. Negotiations lasted about a month. Even for money, they refused to do it. We've been asked to make a very large contribution to the Shuar Federation. And they appointed this day. Nobody explained anything. We just do what they say. We drive through a bridge now. Look, and now we arrive at a village. Both cars are parked. We got to Quintapunque Falls. The river Seipa flows here. These lands belong to Elder Mashu. This is where we get the heads. No strangers will be allowed in. Everything happens under strict secrecy. Nevertheless, the Shuars treat their relics with great reverence and don't open the boxes without protection rituals. While all the preparations are underway, the sunrise is coming. Probably once upon a time there was something similar. In the past, before the heads were shown, the ayahuasca rite was practiced, which you and I tried in Brazil. Everything flickers. Ayahuasca is a drink of Indian shamans from a special liana. Ayahuasca is used by the Indians to communicate with the spirits of the dead. That drink has hallucinogenic properties. In fact, it's not so important for us. The main thing for us is to see the head. Since we have to meet with the spirits of the warriors, we will put a special pattern on the face, as our ancestors did, to distinguish their own in battle. The ceremony suddenly begins. In fact, the place is unrealistically beautiful, fantastic. Look, jungle, mountains, like a charm. We always get our heads near the forest, by the river, or near the waterfall. These are powerful sources of strength. You need to inhale the tobacco again. Oh my God, once again, this horrible tobacco. I hate it. What a horror. It's just terrible. If you don't inhale tobacco, the spirit of the warrior will haunt you. And then something bad will happen. Illness, misfortune, or nightmares. Even today, the Shuars sincerely believe in the power of Tanza heads, and they're afraid to disturb the spirit of the killed warriors. Their rituals are clearly performed, and once again everyone inhales tobacco. Then the Shuars begin to open the box package. Here, real. It's horrible. See how long its hair is, black skin, and a tight mouth. A reduced human head the size of an apple is taken out of an ordinary package. This is a rare, priceless exhibit, and now we can touch it. May I look at it closer? Do you believe that the human spirit is in this head? Of course. And now we touch it, we don't disturb the spirit. I now mentally address this warrior, pay my respects, and promise to protect his spirit. My God, friends, to be honest, it makes my skin crawl. But to make sure that the head is real, you need to look at the ears. Fake stunts are made from animal heads. The oracles are very different from human ones. But it's impossible to make false human ear. If the ear's shaped like a human, then it's real. Oh my God, it's real. Friends, this is definitely real. 100%. This is a human head. Look at the ear. Another confirming factor is that there should be an incision behind. Here in the incision behind. Here it is. I don't want to show it myself, but it's like this. From here to here. That's right? Yes. The incision was done here and here. Feelings cannot be expressed in words. I hold in my hands the head of a human from the Shuar tribe. Probably each of you has a question: how to reduce the human head to such a size? Please tell, what is the technology and how it's done? At the place of the murder, the head is cut off from the body and brought to the village. There they light a fire and use ashes to dry their head. To be honest, the Shuars even offered to show us all the shocking stages of making such a tanto, in reality using a real head. of a monkey. But we refused the offer, and we will try to explain the process even easier and clearer to you. For not to kill a monkey, to make tansa, an incision was made on the back of the head from the crown of the head to the neck, and the skin was carefully removed along with the hair. This is the most difficult part of the process. It was important not to damage the victim's face by separating the skin from the muscles. This required surgical precision and a well-sharpened knife. The removed skin was immersed in boiling water, where it shrank a little. Then the incision on the head was hewn with a thread from the metal palm. The future tansa was processed with a hot stone from the inside. After that, hot sand or ashes were poured into this head, shaken and scraped clean. The process was repeated many times. The head gradually decreased and became completely dry and hard to touch. The face was distorted during the reduction, and the master in fact sculpted it again. At the very end, the mouth was fastened with wooden pegs or sewn up. That tansa remained for many years. It already makes my skin crawl, but it's on one head. Now the rest, you will not see this anywhere else. It's prayer. At that moment, I had already lost count of the numerous prayers and ritual stages. But for a unique find, I was willing to wait as long as I could, listen to the singing of the Indians, and even inhale this nasty tobacco. I was ready for many things because I was well aware that it was unlikely that I would be able to see and shoot the rarest one of the last real tansa on Earth for the second time. Take it out. What are you doing? Why are you spitting tobacco at him? For protection. Friends, also an ear that confirms that all this is true. This is not a fake. The mouth is also tight, eyes closed. This is also a very important indicator, and hair is disproportionately long. If you imagine a head of normal size, may I? I won't disturb the soul. You may. Oh, Lord, forgive me. Hair is the length of the hair. You can imagine. I mean, the man had hair up to his chest. Tell me, how old are you? 75. Have you ever made such heads in your life? No, my father did. How many did your father kill and how many heads did he make? Children are not told such things. Feelings are contradictory. On the one hand, looking through the lens of a journalist is a delight. In front of me are artifacts that thousands of museums on the planet dream of, for which collectors are willing to pay millions of dollars. But on the other hand, the fact that right is in front of me in a box are fragments of the bodies of 9 real people who once lived makes my skin crawl. I see here with some kind of tattoo. The tattoos on his face indicate that he was a strong warrior, a tribal leader. It was very difficult to kill him. May I have a look? The smell already indicates old age. Smell, imagine you climbed into a barn and got a rock from the attic, then had lain there for decades. Such a smell. Look, a leg. And what is this leg? I guess this leg belonged to a very agile warrior who ran fast. And someone wanted to take away his ability to run fast. It's starting to rain. It's urgent to cover it. Rain is a sign of strength and power. So you think they caused it to rain? Yes. Whether this is true or not, we can't answer, but what is absolutely true, it's time to save priceless relics from the rain. They shouldn't get wet. Moreover, they should not have been here at all. Friends, for the sake of our program, the president opened the safe at night, took it away, and now the artifacts must be urgently rescued, at least bring to a dry place. The box is carefully covered with leaves, and now they're carrying it under the canopy. But when I asked to pull out the tansa already in a dry place, the Shuars refused. We can't open the box anymore. You can't bother the heads once again. They're real people. I was not ready for such a turn. A considerable amount to the president, secret meeting in the office of the Federation, a long way, so many rituals and prayers, and all for the sake of closing the heads in a box in just a few minutes. A few minutes later, the translator announced to me the final decision of the Shuar leader. I take this very seriously. Now we can do it again. I agree to open the box, but waiting for the rain to end will not work. All right, now we'll see them under the canopy. We have literally a few minutes. It's very difficult to describe your feelings when you hold such, I can say, exhibits. These are people's heads. They lived more than 100 years ago in this jungle. They walked around naked. They had families, children, wives. They were warriors. They killed each other. These people killed someone and someone killed them. Cut off the head and made this taxidermy using the unique technology of Shuars. Only the Shuars were able to make these mummies so that they're preserved for centuries. Many people try to make money on this, and for example, a house was found in Africa where similar heads were secretly made from corpses and sold in private collections, but they did it wrong, so over time the heads rotted. Here they are stored for centuries. Do you know the story of at least one of these heads? Who were these people? Why they were killed for? First of all, shamans were killed. Shamans knew how to cast evil spells. My father said that if there was an accident in a village or people started to get seriously ill, everyone knew that it was the work of a shaman from an enemy tribe. Then the clan asked the shaman to determine who exactly sent the evil magic in order to kill him and take revenge. But most of all they killed for disrespect or kidnapping of women. Women were actively stolen, as I know. Among your neighbors there, Waorani, Taraminani, Tagaeri can still be killed because someone encroached on another woman. Stealing a woman was considered a horrible crime. The man who stole someone's daughter or wife was no longer respected, and everyone wanted to kill him. The Shuars believed that a person could have three souls. The first is the soul given at birth. After death, it turns into a cloud. The second soul is the one that a warrior must earn during his life, and in particular, he can steal the soul of a slain enemy. And the third soul is a vengeful soul that appeared in a person at the moment of death. And to tame the soul, the head was dried as quickly as possible. That the soul did not break free and did not take revenge. Is it true? It's true. The ritual had to be performed as soon as possible after the murder. The man came home with the head, called all his sons, and they also took part in the ritual so that the warrior and his sons could gather strength of the slain. You probably know the most details. Your father himself made such human taxidermy. What did he say? My father told me that if a person had many heads, everyone saw and knew that it was better not to mess with a warrior because he would cope with any enemy. Tell us about these specimens. Which of them do you think are most valuable? For example, this one. This is a woman. A woman? Horrible. And why did they kill the woman? Among the Shuars were very strong women who understood medicinal plants. Most likely she was very wise, and someone wanted to take away her wisdom. Was she killed? All these people were killed. This ritual cannot be done with a person who has died a natural death. And how did they kill? By spears. Friends, try a look at these shots and feel how awful it is, and how it's good that times have changed and we're no longer living in a stone age. This is a woman. She had children. She had a husband, a family. Here are her earrings. She was killed with a spear, and a human taxidermy was roasted from her head. They did it often. It was prestigious to have such a taxidermy at home, such a head. When did this tradition become a thing of the past? In my father's tribe, this ritual was performed until the 37th year. This was the main way to gain respect. Today, when times have changed, you already live in big cities and do not fight. What do you think about the past? Was it right, or is it better the way it is now? It was better before. Then they killed only for a good reason, to get wisdom or strength. And now people are killing each other just for the sake of things that are worthless. How do you feel when you hold these heads in your hands? We feel power, might, and confidence. We feel that the spirits of the sure ancestors are near and give us strength. And now it's time to turn the heads back in the box. Now that the head from the package is also put in the box, for some time it was kept separate from others. It feels like the Shuars are really afraid to disturb these heads once again, and they did not even dare to put the Tansa in a box, waiting for the moment when the occasion would arise to open their tribal treasury. Heads are packed, perhaps for years. It's unknown when this box will be opened next time. You haven't wrapped the leg yet. It needs to be wrapped. Despite the fact that at first this rite looked a bit theatrical, when the box was opened, all doubts disappeared and it became clear that these are real heads. You have a unique opportunity to see what is not yet available to the general public. In the presence of all the elders, we close the box with the heads of the slain enemies to return it to the safe. The Shuars had another tradition after meetings with enemies. When the battle ended, the women set the festive table for the survivors. The holiday table because you're alive. Because of the victory. See what a typical warrior's food looked like. Leaf-baked fish, then potatoes, yuca, and baked bananas. According to open sources, only few of the Shuars lived to old age. Most of them died in their youth. No, the better a warrior, the longer he lived. After such a dinner, they drank chicha, and so the whole process ended. Do you think there is a possibility that someone is still doing this somewhere far away in the jungle? If the Shuars have strong disputes and misunderstandings, the tradition can still be practiced to this day, but they try not to advertise it so that there are no problems with the state. If the oilmen come, we will take away their heads. So you're ready to kill oilmen today to drive them away if oil is suddenly extracted here? We are invincible people. Throughout history, no one has been able to conquer us. It's hard to imagine that 70 years ago, the tradition of cold-blooded taxidermy from the heads of their opponents was the norm. Today, fortunately, this is in the past which we managed to see, which we touched. But in Ecuador, this is not the only opportunity to look into history. To continue to study what is almost gone, we move to another part of the country. Our goal is the Ecuadorian Andes, at the foot of the legendary dormant volcano Chimborazo. Surely many of you remember that in the last century there was, for example, the profession of a telephone operator. The women in this position skillfully switched plugs and managed to connect colors manually in 8 seconds. It was simply impossible to talk on the phone without them. That civilization and technological progress, the advent of automatic telephone communication supplanted this profession. There are people here in Ecuador who still remember and even practice another profession that will soon be gone. And now we're going to the National Museum of Guano to meet the national hero. Guano City Museum. Friends, here's a museum, history of the city. You can see even a real mummy. Mummy of the abbot of the monastery from this city. But it's not in the spotlight. Most people are here, near the bronze monument. And we see a man standing next to the monument. Look like to you. They smile and Modi's grandfather is a real star. Fans line up to meet him in person. I wonder why he deserved such popular love. Let's try to communicate. It's difficult to communicate with the stars. Now people will finish taking pictures and we will get acquainted with the national hero of Ecuador. My respect, how do you do?
Hello, welcome. My name is Balthazar Ushko. I'm an icebreaker.
Icebreaker is a profession that was completely common in these places 30 years ago. Thousands of men, women and even children climbed the slopes of the main peak of Ecuador to bring ice from there. Friends, this man all his life climbed this volcano Chimborazo. He's the last icebreaker, a representative of the endangered profession. Today, of the entire generation of icebreakers, only Balthazar remains, assisted by several of his relatives. Please tell, what is special about this ice?
This is the purest, most natural ice that can only be found.
I see how many people are around you. You're a real superstar. Do you feel it? Do you realize it?
Yes, I'm invited to many places. I've traveled all over the Ecuador and even been to the United States. I flew there by plane. No police, no traffic jams, and even no turns. Just straight.
Did you like America?
Yes, there are such big houses and cars. Everything is great, and there are no mosquitoes.
And who invited you here to work? How did you end up here?
I was received here by the director of the museum. I've been working here for over 5 years.
How you pay the salary? Is it voluntary?
Yes, they pay $500 a month.
By Ecuador standards, it's very good. A steep salary for the fact that a person does not play a role but represents himself. At the weekend, Balthazar works, in fact, a living exhibit next to the monument that was erected to him during his lifetime. Let me take a picture with you. You see, bikers are photographed with their own style. That's fans of all ages. Such different people come to shake hands. We're a motorcycle club from the Amazonia. We came here especially to meet you. You're an example for other men and the pride of our country. Take care of yourself, please.
Thank you, my friend. I'm pleased to hear that.
An example of true, sincere national love. Buenos dias, my name is Dmytro. What is your name? Biker. Biker, just a biker. And you? Ayo, Milo, Miguel. You've come a long way from the Amazonia to shake this man's hand. How did you find out about him? This man is a star. Many media reported about him. At such a respectable age, at 77, to continue to go to the mountains and do your job deserves respect. Few are capable of this. In short, a real man. Exactly.
It's nice that people are interested in my work. They come from different places, ask questions. They even come to my house. You can come too.
May I come to your house?
Yes, of course.
Do you have ice in home?
Yes. If you want, we can even climb the glacier together.
Until the 19th century, Chimborazo was considered the highest peak on the planet. Today, it's very famous and popular among climbers around the world. This is not an easy mountain. It requires serious training. But for Balthazar, it was a daily workspace all his life. The next morning, we go to visit the famous icebreaker. In general, how did the icebreaker profession appear, and why did it disappear? The fact is that before there were no refrigerators and perishable products were stored in basements and all around covered with ice or in boxes with ice. Therefore, the services of icebreakers were used by absolutely everyone. It was a widespread and very popular work, but with the advent of the refrigerator, the profession of icebreaker, of course, is a thing of the past. Today, this profession lives only on the fact that it is supported by Balthazar and his family. They still make some ice and sell it at the local bazaar for cocktails and juices, but how long the 77-year-old old man can do this, no one knows. Today we have a unique opportunity to climb the Chimborazo volcano with a man of legend and see how crystal clear ice is extracted. We drive up to Balthazar's house, where we are already greeted by the legendary icebreaker's main helpers, his family. Prince, daughter of the man legend Carmita, his son-in-law Juan, and the grandson of the legend Edison. It's a pleasure to meet such a family. It's a great honor that you take us with you. We are also very pleased. Let me treat you like we're supposed to. Do you want me to drink in the morning? And this is a light drink with orange. Let's see, what is it? Salute! Salute. We are waiting for the main character and getting ready. It's tea.
I have never drunk tea like this in the morning. Well, the weather is conductive. Chimborazo is open. Yesterday is a great day for ice mining. Great. It's important to know that Balthazar has not gone for ice himself for a long time. Unfortunately, age is slowly taking its toll. Therefore, the last few years, his main place on work has been a museum, and his son-in-law Juan started going to the volcano more often. Balthazar teaches him all he knows, and he hopes that Juan will not give up, but will continue the work of his life. Good morning, buenos dias, a man of legend. We're talking about you. How is your mood before the hike? Everything is wonderful. How long have you not been there? The last time I went was before the pandemic. Despite its popularity, the star lives modestly, no luxuries, simple country house, several horses and donkeys. At the same time, guests to Balthazar come far from simple. These are President Rafael Correa and Vice President Glass. Blimey, look, with presidents, with white presidents. It was the president who helped me with my work at the museum. Cool. Can you imagine the president met with our Balthazar Ushko? May I call you Balthazar Ushko? Of course. We are the whole Ushko family. I will call you Karmitushka, Balthazar Ushka, and Juanushka, okay? Yes. Friends, we have received confirmation that the man is indeed a superstar. The president met with him. The president organized the work in the museum. Yes, Rafa Correa is my friend. Wow, we would never think that in such a modest house lives a friend of president who calls him a little familiar. You're cool. It's time to go to war. Although Balthazar does not climb the main mountain of Ecuador so often, for his age, he's in excellent physical shape. It seems that old man did not lose his skills. Before leaving, we need to check how much ice we have left. Friends, let's go and see in the shed what that ice looks like. Cubes wrapped in hay. Grass. Ropes are also made of grass. This is a very strong rope. Check it. Yes, it holds. And how much ice can be stored in such a package, in such a thermos? 15 days. Can you imagine 15 days? Friends, here's the ice of Chimborazo, local treasure. How much does such a piece weigh? 50 pounds. About 25 kilograms. Heavy. And how do you carry such heavy things at that age? Donkey's help. This is the purest and most natural ice. Look, I will prove it now. Is this an old glacier or a modern ice that's frozen these days? This ice is many thousands of years old. No one knows exactly how much. Friends, this is the feature and value of ice from the mountain tops, because these are ancient glaciers. The main advantage of such glacier is that the water here froze thousands years ago, when there were no factories, plants, chemicals, exhaust gases and other things that pollute nature. In fact, there's a preserved ancient, environmentally friendly water. And this ice is rich in minerals, very useful substances, and water, of course, is special. You can't buy such water. The sun is already high and Balthazar says that we must go out. The shooting delayed their family a bit, so we decided to help them catch up and drive them as close as possible to the volcano. The donkeys, however, did not fit in the car, so Juan decided to bring them in himself. In the meantime, we will prepare the grass from which the very natural thermos for ice is made. This is how you weave and tie. Balthazar, I don't think my rope is very good. Yes, it will not work. You see, it seems so simple. He does that, and I do this, and I did not succeed. Karmitushka, when did you first go on the ice with Dad? I was 12. And how massive was this industry in those years? Then many people walked in the ice every day. 15 donkeys with ice were lowered at the time. Everyone needed ice to freeze lamb, chicken, rabbit, oranges, tangerines.
In our villages, before the advent of the refrigerator, food was always stored in cool underground cellars, which are still used today. And in winter, for example, meat can be hung from the outside, where the frost does not allow it to spoil. But Ecuador is the equator. Summer is here all year round. Even in mountains, it's hot in the afternoon, and the soil is rocky. It's very difficult to dig a cellar in it. Therefore, another solution was found here to cool the products with ice, which is very abundant in the highlands of the Andes.
And who must have ordered ice? The common people. We then went to the houses in our village every Wednesday and Saturday and left a piece of ice in each one. So the advent of refrigerators have begun to kill your work. Yes, now everyone has refrigerators and freezers. Also, these factories that take ordinary tap water, freeze it and sell ice. With each passing day, we're increasingly faced with the fact that professions are disappearing. You can already buy goods in the supermarket without the help of a cashier. In support services, we often communicate with robots, not people. Even for speed, drivers are not more likely to be caught by automatic cameras than live cops. Professions that were in demand yesterday are turning into history, and people will lose their job. When refrigerators appeared and people stopped buying ice, many icebreakers started looking for a new job. Some went into agriculture, some went to the city, but not my father. He could not give up his job and leave Chimborazo.
Unbelievable, despite the fact that this work was no longer needed, Balthazar did not give it up. Yes, he's called an example of purposefulness and strength of spirit, but what really drives a person whose life has no place in the modern world? Watch in the next episode. We almost went into the cloud, here at the glacier, the most difficult passage to the workplace in the history of the world inside out. Very cold, my head is spinning, and I'm exhausted.
4,800 meters,
Practically the height of Mont Blanc. We will discover the mystical secrets of the Ecuadorian mountain. Chimborazo is a volcano that can fertilize a woman. We will extract their 1,000-year-old ice. We send the camera for an axe and find out what is hidden in it. Samples are placed in sterile containers and placed in this device. To make Balthazar's work necessary again in the modern world, I had an idea of what to do with this ice to earn more. We haven't sold ice for that kind of money yet. The World Inside Out with Dmitry Komarov.